start then? All right, and one last quick reminder that today's webinar and Q&A section is for educational purposes only. Final rates and/or products, services, and other requirements should be confirmed with a credit union representative at the time of service. All right, now that we got all the boring stuff out of the way, I'd like to introduce you my personal favorite panel, Brenda and Sue. First, Brenda has worked at the credit union for over 25 years. She's been a supervisor for 2 departments. She was part of financial wellness team previously in her career before taking on a role in member care department. After spending some time there, she came back to financial wellness team for 4 years ago because she loves assisting our member owners. And Sue has been with the company for over 37 years. She started out in reservations at American Airlines back in 1988 and spent nearly 2 decades working in different departments. In 2007, she moved to the credit union where she worked in accounting in the mortgage department before joining the financial wellness team 18 months ago. Sue says her favorite part of working in financial wellness is helping members find their peace of mind, breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. In her free time, Sue loves working outside in her yard and spending quality time with her family and her beloved French bulldog, who we all know and love, Mr. Pickles. Brenda and Sue, I won't go far, but the floor is now yours.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Well, hello everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I had a little bit of trouble getting my setup here, so please bear with me. As a reminder, we're here to talk about the topic that affects all of us, surviving economic challenges and managing your finances through rising costs. So let's be honest, things feel more expensive because they really are more expensive, right? Prices are going up across the board, budgets are tighter, and for many of us, just keeping up with everyday essentials like gas, groceries, and rent, they've become a real challenge. But inflation doesn't have to control your life or your finances. That's the good news. We're going to walk you through a simple, realistic way to adjust your spending and protect your savings and make some smarter choices. So today we're going to explain more about inflation. We're going to give you some tips on boosting your savings. We're going to discuss a spending plan. We're going to provide some ideas for cutting expenses, and we're going to share some ways that financial wellness can help you. And here we go. Brenda, could you share a little bit with our audience about inflation and what exactly it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, inflation is the increase in prices and goods of, or rather prices of goods and services over time. It can't be measured by, say, a single item or anything. It's just a general increase in the overall price level of goods and services in the economy. You probably want to know what's causing it. What's going on that's causing all of this fluctuation? And again, it's not just one reason, but we've got higher taxes on goods that we buy from other countries too. And housing costs are going up because, fewer new homes are being built. We've got to get those products from someplace, right? And then our mortgage rates are slightly higher than they've been. Energy prices are going up too because of worker strikes, layoffs, and issues between countries. Labor costs too, they're staying high. It makes services like healthcare and insurance a lot more expensive. It's just really harder to get things, so things cost more. And with a lot of us trying to buy things right now, that is also a driver of cost.
Yep. Thanks, Brenda. That makes perfect sense. So while we're talking about inflation, did you know that the national average for inflation as of August 2025, so for the last 12 months, it's at 2.9%. So breaking that down, that means that something that would normally cost you $100 is now going to cost you $102.90. Keep in mind the target rate for inflation is 2%. So even though 2% probably doesn't sound like much to you, it adds up really quickly, especially when you're buying a lot of things. Look at it like this, like a loaf of bread. It used to be $2 and now it's going to cost you $2.06. Not a big jump, right? But if you usually spend about $2,000 a month with that little 2.9% bump, that means that you're going to be spending an extra $58 every month. That's almost $700 a year, folks, just to buy the same thing. I was thinking it kind of makes me want to bake my own bread, except for I don't know how to bake. But so if your income isn't growing at the same pace, it kind of feels like your money isn't going as far as it used to. And that's going to take us to our first poll question. Sutton, can you help us with that?
Yeah, Sue, I got it from here. Just a reminder that if you are tuning in on a mobile device, you may need to swipe left or right on your screen to see our polling questions and answers. So for our first question, in your household, where do you struggle the most due to inflation? A, housing, B, food, C, utilities, or D, transportation? I know I can spend heck ton on food and clothing, so I'm gonna say food, B is where I would land. Sarah, what about you?
Yes, I'm definitely in the B category. If you know me, I'm always buying my lunch to go. I'm always picking up food for people. But yeah, I've learned not to do that as much, and it's helped my bank account and my stomach a little bit. So
Yeah, me and Sarah love a good Chick-fil-A run for lunch. So now
yes, yes,
I've been bringing my lunch though, and it's been good. It's been good.
yes.
Sue and Brenda, what about y'all?
Well, for me, it's utilities. Oh my goodness. I'm one of those warm-blooded people, I guess.
Mhm.
And I have to have it cool in the home. So utilities is definitely my sore spot right now.
I would agree, Brenda. Utilities for us too. As a matter of fact, we just switched to average billing because we had some ridiculous summer bills, and we just thought for budgeting purposes, we're just going to go with the average billing. So yeah, it just seems like utilities have just skyrocketed.
And for those who don't know, average billing based on your usage for the prior year, the following year, then you would have the exact same bill every month, which is pretty handy, right, Sue?
Yeah, it is. Because I honestly, folks, I think we had like a $700 bill one time this summer, and
Oh my
that's just
gosh.
ridiculous. So yeah, average billing, I
Okay.
think we're back down to like three something. So yeah, thankful for that they offer that.
That's right. I live in
Congrats.
a little tiny studio apartment, and so luckily my
Okay.
utilities weren't too bad, but I keep it pretty
Yeah.
high. So, Sarah, what are our attendees saying today?
It looks like some attendees also agreed with utilities, and then we also had some people mention transportation. So.
Okay. That's a good one.
Sweet. Sue, Brenda, we'll pass it back to y'all.
Okay, great. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sutton. So consider this staggering fact: between 57 and 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That means anywhere from 6 to 8 out of 10 people are struggling financially, and they won't be able to cover their costs even if it was in a minor emergency. And you know what? This even affects people who have good jobs and decent income. They can feel that there's not quite enough as well. So between rent, bills, groceries, debt payments, it can feel like your paycheck is gone the second it hits your account. Can you relate to that, Brenda?
No doubt about it. And I'm thankful that the credit union provides a 2-day early deposit on payroll. So, yeah, totally in relation with that one.
Thank you. Okay, and that's going to take us to our questions. Do we have any out there, Sutton or Sarah, from our audience?
I don't see any questions yet, guys, but just a reminder that go ahead and drop any questions in the Slido Q&A. There are no dumb questions. Sue and Brenda are the best in the business. I know I've come to them with some stupid financial questions before, so they've seen it all. So make sure to drop some in the chat.
Okay, great. We'll come back to
Sutton,
that.
there are no stupid questions, Sutton.
No.
Never.
Good.
Nope,
Good. Brenda,
absolutely
you're so
great.
sweet. But maybe just my questions are stupid, but no one else.
No, I'm not going to say
Oh.
anything. I can barely turn on my computer. Okay, so let's moving on. Let's talk about savings, everyone. Brenda, can you share some suggestions on how we can boost our savings?
Oh, I have a ton, but I'll start by saying this. After setting aside money for, emergency savings and then carefully budgeting, here's some additional ways you can boost your savings.
Okay.
Set up automatic savings, right? Designate a percentage of your paycheck to deposit directly into your account. Out of sight, out of mind. You don't even miss it if it doesn't directly go to checking. Increase your 401k contributions. Every time you get a raise or increase, just make it an automatic thing. You won't miss that either. And then create multiple named savings accounts. If you have different goals, maybe a vacation, a new car, home repairs, things like that, then name a savings account that allows you to save specifically for that. Those small deposits will add up pretty quick, right?
Right.
And of course, cutting those unused subscription services, streaming, television streaming, music, gym memberships, all of that. Those things add up. So if you were to, put that money towards savings instead, that would be a quick way to increase your money that you are able to put away for long term. And then pay off your credit card balance in full every month. That will allow you to save interest payments. And then after you pay off that debt, redirect those payments into your savings account.
Those are some great ideas. I
Yeah.
came up with a couple others to share with the audience. I jotted down, you could even categorize your spending into wants and needs, break it down so that you can cut back. I know this next one really worked for me. Remove your credit or debit card from your mobile app to avoid impulse buys. That has slowed my roll shopping online when I don't have that credit card saved. So that has made a big difference for me. Another one is use that 24-hour rule before making any non-essential purchases to avoid impulse buying. You can download some money-saving apps for your groceries or your gas. How about this one? Declutter and sell clothes or furniture or gadgets you no longer use. I got a garage full of that stuff. And reduce, I'm a coffee drinker, so I've also wrote down to myself to remember to reduce those coffee runs, make the coffee at home, save the money. And I'm even trying do-it-yourself gifts, they're more meaningful and they're budget friendly. So I'm giving those a shot. So those are just some extra ones to throw in there for us to think about. And but those were some great ideas, Brenda. Thank you. And before we move on, we got another poll question. So we'll give this one over to Sutton.
Yeah, guys, I got it from here. For our second polling question, do you have a spending plan or a budget that you follow? So A, yes, I have a detailed spending plan and stick to it. B, I have a loose plan, but I don't always follow it. C, I've tried, but I don't keep up with it. Or D, no, I don't have any type of spending plan. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I sit and I co-host these webinars every week and we talk about spending plans. And I'm gonna be honest, I fall in the D category. No, I don't have any type of spending plan. I spend all my money on clothes and I just spent all my money on rent today, actually. So Sarah, what about you?
I know we are not good influences as co-hosts, but because I'm in the C category as well. I've tried and I just don't stick with it. But I've listened to these ladies and sometimes they just say, just write it down. And I honestly, that really does help if I'm like month to month, just writing my expenses. So I think I need to get better and do a little bit more, but yeah. What about you ladies?
Yeah, Brenda and Sue, I'm assuming you guys are A, because
No, you assume wrong. You definitely assume wrong. I have a loose plan, but I don't always follow it. I'm a B. I'm pretty good about, prioritizing, of course, the things that have to be taken care of. No question about it. But that little extra cash that I could probably apply to something that either needs to be paid down or put into savings. I'm not the best with that. I like to shop.
I do. I like to shop too. So,
I
Sue,
can
what about
appreciate
you?
that. I would be B as well. I have a loose plan. I don't always follow it. I just try to remind myself, it's just progress, not perfection. I'm never going to win an award for having this spending plan and sticking to it every day. I'm just trying to do my very best and follow it. I do think twice before I make big purchases. A lot of times I put my credit card in my desk, so I have to think twice before I even use it. And sometimes I go up to pay for things and I just put them down and tell the people I've decided I don't want them. I'm sure they think I'm crazy, but I'm thinking twice before I make the purchase. It's just I might happen to be in line and at the cash register when I made the decision. But no, I've got a loose plan. I just feel like life happens, circumstances change, so it's a little bit more fluid for me, but that's where I'm at.
All right, Sarah, what are our attendees saying today?
Looks like 50% said B, that they have loose plans, but they don't always follow it. And then 25% said C and D.
Okay.
At least some of us can relate to
Yes.
us, Sarah. So, Brenda and Sue, we'll pass it back to y'all.
Okay, great. Thanks, ladies. Appreciate it. So what exactly is a spending plan? So think of it as like a simple step-by-step guide that shows you exactly how you're using your money each month. It gives you permission to spend it on things that you want, and it helps you cut back on things that you really don't need. But it's the foundation for any financial goal. Brenda, can you share some ideas on why we would suggest that our audience have a spending plan?
Absolutely. And we call it a spending plan, but it sounds better than budget, right?
Absolutely.
And it's actually the exact same thing, but budgeting is really not easy. It's not a fun task, but the good thing that comes out of it is financial happiness. You know where your money's going. So helps you to gain control. Instead of wondering where your whole paycheck went, you know exactly how your money's being spent, right? And every dollar has a job. So if you have money left over at the end of your pay period, not a bad plan to just put that in savings. And you no longer are reacting. If you've got something written down, you've got some structure, and then save more. You make this automatic and it's consistent. If you're planning ahead, saving isn't an afterthought. It's just built into your routine, right?
Mhm.
And then it gives you a chance to pay off debt. You always know where your debt balances are, and it encourages you not to, incur new debt. Prepare for future expenses, Sue. Anything from car repairs to the holidays, which are quickly approaching, to even your annual insurance premiums and the unexpected, right? You
Right.
don't have to let this derail your finances. A good spending plan includes those sinking funds for those things that we don't always have an idea that they may come about, right?
Right.
If you have those goals, if you have things that you've set money aside for, you can make this deposit on a regular routine so it's not a surprise when all of a sudden something happens or it doesn't happen at all. You get to go on that trip, right?
Right.
You plan for this vacation, you're actually able to do that because you put money aside to make that happen the whole time. It gives you that peace of mind. Ultimately, that's what a spending plan is. And
Yeah.
it can be daunting the first time you sit down and actually look at all your debt against your income. It is a task. But once you get used every month or every couple of weeks, every paycheck actually looking at this, you'll be all the better for it.
That's great information. Thanks, Brenda. So now we know why you need a spending plan, and let's look at some ways that you can maybe cut some expenses. So here's a couple of ideas to get you started. Clothing, just for instance, before you buy any new clothes, check everyone's wardrobe, see what items need to be replaced. Consider using hand-me-downs. Shopping at thrift marts or consignment stores seems to be a big deal right now, so that would be a great way to save some money. Decide how much of your household budget you can realistically spend on clothes and stick to that budget. And if you're unsure about a recent purchase, take the clothes back. Don't hesitate. It's better to take it back and save the money to buy something that you know you're going to need down the line. You could shop sales, use coupons, promotional codes, look for deals online. Plan ahead when you're buying your clothes. Maybe start buying clothes for next season now during the off season. And I would say, focus on buying fewer pieces that last longer. Those always seem to save some money. Let's see, Brenda, how about entertainment expenses? Can you give us some ideas of how we could maybe cut some costs in that area?
Absolutely. Back in the day, we were outside. We spent a lot of time outside. We didn't have all the luxuries of Netflix and all of the good stuff that we get to enjoy now. But some of the free and low cost activities I'd recommend is hiking, picnicking, biking, visiting a local pond or lake, attending free concerts and community events right near your home. Again, spending time outdoors, we seem to have been healthier then. I don't know if that's true, but it's great for your health to get outside, get that vitamin D, and it's of course easy on your wallet.
Yeah.
And then if you are still subscribing to, streaming services, not a bad idea to host movie nights at home with friends and family, board game nights. How about potlucks, things like that? Lot less expensive than going out to a restaurant, having to wait in line for 30 minutes and
Yeah.
finally get your meal and get home at midnight, right?
Right.
And then, of course, nothing wrong with movies. So a way to save with that, of course, is choosing matinees. They're usually cheaper than evening show times, and it's a great way to enjoy the movies that you like for less. A good one here, plan family vacations during the off season. So traveling during peak times is always more expensive. If you were to choose a little bit later in the year when Not everyone else is on the plane and at the airport. You save on flights, hotels, the attractions even. And of course, you wouldn't have the stress of all of the holiday travel either.
Great ideas. I'll tackle some grocery expenses. So sometimes, I don't know about you, but it feels like there's nothing to eat, but your fridge and your pantry have plenty of food. So I'm starting to take inventory and plan meals based on what I already have at home. So I know there's something I can make in the pantry. Maybe macaroni and cheese. It's not their top choice, but it'll get us through dinner that night. And I make leftovers for second meal. If your family isn't a fan of leftovers, just freeze it and serve it at a different time. And you know what? This is another good one. Limit the trips to the grocery store, because the more often you go, the more money you tend to spend, right? So if you try to stick to some planned shopping trips, you'll probably avoid going there to buy just one or two items. I don't know about anybody else, even our young whippersnappers, but when I go to buy something, I always spend like $80. I only intended to buy one thing. That lovely lady checking me out will say, "Did you find everything?" I just want to say, please stop. I found more than everything. I got to get out of the store. So, limit your trips to the store. Look into free or reduced priced school lunch programs, and look for local pantries in your area if you need some assistance. Shop online. This is a huge one for me, just huge. If I could have like flashing lights. I tried this, folks, where I shopped online, drove up, picked up my groceries. I had no impulse buying. I knew exactly what my bill was going to be. Wow, it was just wonderful. I mean, I'm going to continue to do that. I found that was a huge win-win for somebody like myself who tends to impulse shop when I'm at the grocery store. So shopping online and picking your groceries up at the curb worked great. Choose generic brands. Store brands often taste just as good. And I read somewhere that you could save about $20 a week. I mean, that really adds up. Just think, Sutton and Sarah, how many Chick-fil-A's you could have if you were, doing that. Plan your meals around sales. Look at the weekly store ads and plan meals for what's on sale. And here's a good one. Try taking cash when you go to buy groceries. I've done that. I'll put cash in an envelope and tell myself that's all I can spend. And that helps me stick to my budget much better than taking a card with me. So those are just some ideas in that area. Brenda's got some excellent ideas to help us with medical expenses, how to cut them. Brenda, what do you got there?
Yeah, what I have here, Sue, is using wellness programs and free screenings. A lot of your local clinics and hospitals will offer free health screenings and wellness checks. Just look into what might be in your immediate community that can help you stay healthy without that extra cost. And when you're at the pharmacy, check for generics. Generic drugs usually cost less than the brand, and they're just as effective. And if you just have to have a brand name medication, ask your doctor about any discount programs. For example, myself, I pay less by using a discount card directly from the pharmacy company instead of even through insurance. So check into that. You might also consider a health savings or flexible spending account. If you have like a high deductible health plan, or you might be self-employed, an HSA will let you save money tax-free to use for medical expenses. An FSA, which is a flexible spending account, is also one that allows you to take from your paycheck, put away tax deductible out for explicit medical expenses, dental expenses. So that's a huge savings, right?
Yeah.
And then another one, mistakes happen. We're all just human, right? So review your hospital, doctor, and dental bills and make sure that you're only being charged for the services rendered. If you find something that's wrong, don't hesitate to reach out and get it corrected.
Yep, that's an excellent suggestion, Brenda. I hadn't thought of that. Transportation expenses. Do your research before buying. I think that's obvious. Check online for prices and the value of the car, because you want to have some negotiating abilities, and you want to pay a fair price when possible. Think twice before buying a new car. New cars lose their value faster, as we all know. So maybe consider buying a used car, 4 years old or 40,000 miles, something like that. Those cars often run well and they don't lose their value quite as quickly. Consider public transportation if it's available in your area. Obviously, it's going to save you a ton of money on gas and parking and auto maintenance. And shop around for auto insurance. Don't just go with the first quote you get. Shop around and see what else you can find out there. Okay, Brenda, you've been doing a terrific job. Let's give our folks some ideas on how to cut those utility expenses that we were talking about.
Okay, we're going to talk about specifically in winter, right?
Okay.
So turn the thermostat down in the winter, right? Lower it by at least 10 degrees when you're at work or when you're sleeping. That's about 16 hours a day where that lower temperature, or rather raised temperature. So that will end up basically saving you anywhere from 10 to 15% on your heating bill. Even lowering it by 1 degree can save up to 3%. So something to think about. Get a programmable thermostat. These, they adjust heating and cooling automatically, and it's based on your schedule. So it kind of, you get to set it and forget it, so to speak. They can get pretty expensive, but they usually pay for themselves within a year or two of, having those energy savings. Turn off those unused lights and devices. It was a no-brainer. You didn't have anyone to, tell you except mom or dad every time you went in a room, hey, turn the light off behind you, right? And so that's just a good practice to continue. And another thing to add is switching to LED lights. Now, those light bulbs are pretty expensive, but they use less energy and they last a whole lot longer. And if you're in the market for new appliances for your home, look for Energy Star rated appliances, and those will also help to save on utilities. And one last tip, skip the dryer when you can. So when you do laundry, instead of immediately tossing all of your wet clothes in the dryer, maybe hang the clothes that you can, because it saves energy, reduces the wear on your clothes, and lowers your electric bill.
Hang clothes to dry. I wonder, Sutton and Sarah, have you ever seen a clothesline in your life?
I actually, it's funny you say that. I air dry a ton of my clothes because I'm weird about things shrinking in the dryer. So I didn't realize I've been saving myself money this whole time and I didn't even know. So
Yeah, small wins, those count, right?
yeah. Sarah, it looks like you wanted to say something earlier. What would you want to comment on?
Yes, I have two things I wanted to mention. When we were talking about groceries, Sue, somebody showed me this app. It's called Too Good to Go.
I love Too
So
Good to Go. Oh my gosh.
have you heard of
yes.
it?
Mhm.
So, you can help explain it a little. I've never used it, but I know
Mhm.
it helps reduce food waste. So
Mhm.
if there's stores, markets, or
Mhm.
restaurants that I guess the food is gonna go, or instead of throwing it out, they put it on these apps, and
Mhm.
it's like half price for people to
Yeah.
order.
I've
Um,
gotten meals from Sprouts and like Whole Foods, a bunch of different restaurants do them, or grocery stores. And you go up to Sprouts, you're like, hey, it's like 10 or 20 bucks. And they give you all these leftover baked goods and meals from Sprouts and Whole Food. And it's like, I've gotten a whole rotisserie chicken, a whole thing of breadsticks before, a whole thing of cookies. It's insane. I mean,
Oh.
it's like, it's hit or miss sometimes, but it's been crazy the amount of money I've saved, being all the amount of food you get for,
isn't it like half off, right? Or it's
yeah,
pretty
it's like,
discounted.
and it depends. Some stores, they'll load you up with like all this really good stuff. But that's something Too Good to Go is a really good point to bring up, Sarah. Sorry,
Excellent.
Thank you for
Brenda, we're
that.
stealing your thunder, but
Oh, no,
I've
and
never
then
heard of it. Thanks
I
for
hadn't
that.
heard of it either.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, another thing with medical, I didn't realize this, you guys probably would have known, but yeah, you can purchase different, items like female personal hygiene items. I didn't know you could buy that type of stuff with your FSA or HSA. So yeah, definitely do your research when you're picking your insurance for the next, or for health insurance for the next year, because
Mhm.
there's some things that you could be using your HSA for, you never knew. At least I
Absolutely.
never knew.
Yeah.
And
And
speaking, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to say this real quickly. Since we're approaching, that time where we're selecting benefits soon, it's a good idea not only to consider the FSA, HSA opportunities to, have those tax savings, and like you said, Sarah, to purchase items that you didn't realize would be qualified to just, swipe that card. saving your tax money, and you're able to get the things you need. But if you have pets, and I know that Sue has a beautiful animal, Sutton has a beautiful array of animals, more than one. I would say pet insurance, You should look into those things. So open enrollment's coming up, great opportunity to point out, how we can also save on the benefits that we actually will use in the next year.
Yeah, definitely. Because Sarah, weren't you talking about getting a pet kangaroo or something? I would think you'd want pet insurance for that. That's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
expensive.
no, it was a koala, remember?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, pets are expensive. I'd spend more on my dog when I had one than myself, so I understand.
It's worth it though. It's totally worth it. So
100%. Yep. You and me both, we know that. Well, lastly, let's see, maybe some other ways to cut housing expenses. You could rent out a room, if you've got the extra room, it would help lower your monthly housing payment. If your house is too big, consider downsizing, look for something more affordable, even consider renting if that's less expensive. I'm running into this right now. We're looking to buy a home and property taxes are just ridiculous here in North Texas. So we're paying attention to property taxes as we shop for homes. Never thought I'd be looking at the property taxes when I decide whether I want to buy a home, but it's a big factor. It affects your mortgage drastically. And we're shopping around for homeowners insurance. We're not going to take the first quote we get. We're going to look around and get multiple quotes to help us cut the costs. And then lastly, just some miscellaneous. You guys think about it. How much do you think you spend on habits like, coffee, soda, alcohol, weekly massages? Cutting back on those or taking a break, that could add up for big savings, right? And maybe shop for holidays all year round. I find that, right now you can find, I don't know, what was the last holiday we had? I guess it was like the 4th of July or something. I don't know. Now the Christmas trees are out. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, you could shop the clearance items all year round, but keep track of them, write it down or put it on a spreadsheet or something, because you don't want to overspend when the holidays come around. But before we leave this area, I want to throw this back to our youngsters with us, Sarah and Sutton. Could you think of any ways that we could cut expenses in the entertainment area with your age group? Anything you guys do to cut expenses?
Just try to cut down on their subscriptions, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
ridiculous nowadays. You need to buy a storage plan for everything now, and there's a streaming service for absolutely every channel you watch. But I guess this is more for savings. Sutton and I both use the Acorns app, and I think every purchase, it will round up to the next dollar and then puts that to the savings.
And invest the money for you, which that's been super awesome for me, at
Great
least.
idea. And what was that called again?
Acorns.
Acorns.
Okay.
And they have investing and other things on the app, and it's a great financial app. But I think, for the Gen Z or our younger generation is like controlling the impulse spending, and the habits you mentioned earlier, Sue, seemed really helpful, of like hiding your credit card, putting it in another bag, that way it's not connected to everything. Because there's been so many purchases where I'm just like, it's already pre-filled, and
Yeah, me too. And it'll get delivered and I'll open the package and I'm like, what blind person ordered this? I don't even know why I ordered this. It definitely curbs my impulsive shopping. So those were a few ways that we could, cut expenses we wanted to share with you. And here's some other ways that we can help you. So we can review credit reports with you, and we can help you understand what's on your credit report, help you identify any errors, and learn how to improve your credit score over time. And we can help you create a realistic spending plan that's tailored to your goals and needs. Just keep it really simple. We're not going to come at you with something really difficult to keep track of. We can help you reconcile your accounts. We'll help you ensure that your bank accounts and your spending records line up so you always know where your money's going. We can help you reduce debt by offering some strategies to pay down debt efficiently. We can help you develop or possibly change spending habits and saving habits. We have some tools, and we can offer accountability to help you build a healthier financial habit. Avoid payday loans, folks. That's what we're saying again, avoid payday loans. We're going to guide you towards safer, more affordable alternatives to those high interest payday loans. And we can connect you with a trusted resource. If you need a little bit of help in the housing, utilities, job support, or legal advice, we can guide you to some reliable service providers in your area. And we're going to encourage you to open up an emergency share account. If you need any help getting it started, we got you. We'll walk you right through it. It's really quick and easy. And once you get it set up, it's peace of mind. It's going directly from your paycheck to your emergency savings account. So you'll have it there if any minor emergencies come up. So those would be a couple ways that we could help you in our department. And then finally, we're here to support you in financial wellness. We're certified credit union financial counselors. We can offer you assistance with bruised credit situations. We offer advanced financial indebtedness solution assistance. You'll receive continuous accountability, support, and guidance. And we have educational seminars and webinars all throughout the year. So please feel free to reach out to us at 833-346-9355. Once again, that's 833-346-9355. Or you can reach us at financialwellness@aacreditunion.org. Once again, highlighting the .org. So that's how you can reach out to us. Brenda, can you tell our audience a little bit about some additional tools and resources that we can offer?
Absolutely. So you just spoke to us about financial wellness and what we're able to do here, but what you shared did not highlight an amazing fact. Did you know that financial wellness was established here at our credit union in 1988? 1988. And we were one of the very first credit unions in the country to provide free financial counseling to our members.
Excellent.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So of course, you shared our phone number and our web address, hoping that our members will reach out for sure. And then credit monitoring. Let's talk about it. Through the online access, when you've registered your account with the credit union, you have access to what's called Credit Report by Savvy Money. You can, through that, get a free credit score, has no impact to your credit. It is a soft pull, free information on improving your credit. It's an easy to read report card. It tracks your score over time, and it shows cost savings for members who are looking to refinance a loan with the credit union. And then the Navigator. The Navigator is a great product. It allows you to self-educate. It serves as your online interactive guide, helps you with financial knowledge, and directs your financial path. You'll have opportunity to take courses. They're quick. They're not, like a college course or anything. They're really quick, really educational. And in return for what you input, it kind of has an algorithm that gives you back great information that helps you with the same things, improving your scores, how to dispute errors, common things that, most consumers, encounter during their time as the buying public. So all great tools.
Excellent. Thanks, Brenda. Saraswet, do you want to take over from here?
Yes, ma'am. And we have a few questions in the queue, and we'll get to them after I do a little bit of announcements that we have this quarter. But in order to take advantage of our financial wellness services and to be able to talk to our wonderful counselors like Brenda and Sue, you need to become a member if you're not already. So for those who aren't and would like to start their member journey, you can easily do so today by scanning that QR code and using that promo code BD4412 at the end of your application. And right now we're having a new member special, so that means the code will take care of your new member deposit of $26. It's normally only $6, so you're getting an extra 20 bucks in there. Plus, once you're a member, you're always a member, so that means even if you decide to take another job opportunity outside the air transportation industry, you can still retain those credit union benefits. And you can be able to share the gift of membership with your family members, permanent household members, and coworkers who are eligible to join. And whenever you refer them, both of you guys get $25 up to $250. So definitely take advantage of that new member special. It's going to be lasting until the end of the year. So get all your family members and get some extra money for in time for Christmas. And right now we have some new quarterly offers. So whenever you open a new checking, you can earn up to $100 whenever you set up direct deposit. And for some employees, you can get that paycheck 2 days earlier, like Brenda mentioned earlier. And right now towards the end or to the end of the year, whenever you use your debit or credit card, you are automatically entered for a chance to win money. So 5 card holders will win $2,500. So definitely be swiping those cards. If you're doing your Amazon purchases for Christmas, whatever, you're automatically entered to win those cash drawings. Another drawing that we have right now is whenever you review your beneficiary and contact information online, you can be entered to win a chance to win $1,000. But be sure to check out all the information on those promos on our website at www.aacreditunion.org/offers for all of the details on those promos. And I will go throw you guys some questions here that we got in the queue.
Okay.
Alrighty. Sue and Brenda, somebody's asking, is it better to put money in a share account, CD, or money market fund?
I'll take that one, Sue. I'll
Okay.
be honest, that's kind of a loaded question because it depends on what your plans are. If you have expectation of expenses, here we are at the holiday season. If you celebrate, do you want that money locked up in a CD where you can't access it for a certain period of time? Look at the interest rates as well, because that can also be a determining factor. If you're looking for something longer term, you might look at ladder certificates, which tend to pay a higher interest rate than just the most basic dream plan or other type certificate.
Agree.
Good
Sounds
answer.
great.
Another question. What's the minimum interest I need to make on my money to beat inflation?
That would be kind of hard to answer because the government shutdown that started yesterday for anybody watching us live, October 1st, that information, it's my understanding it's not even going to be released. So the next numbers are going to be delayed in being released. So I don't even know what the next number is going to come out to show what the inflation rate was at. Brenda, can you add anything to that?
No, I think you've done an excellent job, Sue. I think your answer is we don't know. We really truly can say this is one that we don't know what your best bet would be. Again, I would say check with us first, of course, because our rates tend to be higher, our dividend rates, and look at all of our products to see which one might fit you best. And that is where I'll leave that.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions out there, Sarah?
One more question. How do I get started with the budget?
It's really simple. Just reach out to us in Financial Wellness. We'll send you a form that's really easy to fill out, and then we'll schedule an appointment and we'll just go over a spending plan. We've got some that we can share with you, and we'll just get started with that. We'll write down what you estimate that you're spending, and then we'll track your spending and we'll make adjustments as we go. It's super simple. Nobody wants anything complicated. Some people love spreadsheets. I'm not one of those people. I actually track my spending on a little tiny notebook about the size of my hand that I bought at Walmart. I just write down, what I spend each day. And then at the end of the week, I tally it up. So spending plans can be adjusted to fit anybody's, I want to say schedule. Everybody's a little bit different. I just want to emphasize it's super easy, and we're here to help you. We want to be your accountability buddies. We're going to be here to support you and help you with it. So yeah, just reach out and give us a chance. And I think you'll be very pleased with what you'll see, and you'll feel some sort of peace of mind that comes with getting a spending plan and being on a budget. At least for me, I can say that's the case. How about you, Brenda? Can you add anything to that?
Yeah. No, I mean, you summed it up well. What you said earlier too, I thought about, you said it doesn't have to be, hard. It's not difficult. It's money in, money out. Once you know what you're spending, once you know what's coming in, whatever's left over, and if you're coming up short, then you need to adjust your outgo.
Yeah.
That's the formula. That's truly that simple.
Yeah. Okay, and any other questions in there for us?
That was great.
Was it?
I don't see any on my side, Sutton. Is there anything I may have missed?
No, I think you had all the same questions that I did.
Okay, well, in closing, just a few reminders. So start or revisit your budget, estimate your savings, set up a payroll deduction to go directly into your savings account, set up an emergency savings account deduction so you have the money set aside in case of an emergency. Review or cancel unused subscriptions. I think Sutton and Sarah were emphasizing that for us. Track your spending and smart. Seems easy, but tracking your spending and shop smart. Look for areas to cut back. Build or grow your emergency fund. Clear out unused items and sell them. Get that extra money. And you guys, celebrate the process. Celebrate the process. Every win counts. And it's been our privilege to be with you today, and we hope to hear from you soon. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Sue. And I can't agree more. Every win counts. And I feel like if you're watching this, you're already one huge step to your journey. But thank you all once again for joining us. If you have something a little bit more personal you'd like to discuss, just let us know on the survey that should be in your inboxes soon, that you'd like a credit union representative or financial wellness counselor to reach out, and we'll follow up early next week. Be sure to visit our event schedule on our website for details and the topic lineup for upcoming webinars. Stay connected with us on social media, follow us on Instagram, X, and be sure to like and just subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube channels, where you can watch previously recorded webinars just like this one. But on behalf of Brenda, Sue, Sutton, myself, and the entire credit union team, we truly appreciate you guys tuning in with today. Have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. My wonderful panel, anything y'all'd like to add before we finally close out for today?
Thanks for your time. We know you made an effort to join us today, and we hope that you'll join us again. We're here for you. This is our full-time job. We're here for you.
Great. Hope to hear from you all soon. That would be terrific.
Thank you, y'all. See y'all on the next one.